When we work with rigid body physics in Blender, we often discover that the objects overlap or there are incorrect gaps like this between two rigid body objects. Even a mesh shape of collision does not solve it always. So in this tutorial, we'll discuss about the correct solution. Here is our example scene, where the bowling lane and the background walls are all set up as passive type rigid bodies. Then the ball and these pins are set up as active type rigid body, obviously. Now let's hide all other objects and focus just on this single pin for the rest of the discussion. It has got a concave section at its neck, so if we select convex hull for the collision shape, which is the default case, the physics will fail because it will treat the object like a convex shape as we can see here. So we'll miss out the original geometry at this neck, and the collisions won't be perfect. I guess you already know about this. But even if we change the collision shape to mesh type, we'll see that the physics can be very bad. The objects easily penetrate into other rigid body objects, and this is specifically true when the objects are moving very fast. So we have to look at a different solution for the collision shape. We'll cut it into two pieces from this neck so that each part can be treated separately as a convex hull, but you may need to cut your object into more pieces if it's more complex. So let's go to the edit mode and turn on the vertex selection mode if it's not enabled. Then also turn on the X-ray view mode so that we can select the vertices that are hidden behind. Now deselect everything and use the box selection tool to select all the vertices from the top up to this neckline. Then from the mesh menu, use the duplicate option or just use Shift-D to duplicate it, but do not move it anywhere. Press the escape key to keep the original position. Now again, go to the mesh menu and use the option called separate or separate by selection. As soon as we do that, we can see a new object is created in the hierarchy. Back to the object mode, we can select this new object and treat it as a completely separate object. Let's again go back to the edit mode for the original object, and this time we'll select all the vertices from the bottom up to the same neckline. Finally, we'll duplicate this bottom part, just like the previous case, and also separate it out to get a standalone object. Now we can go back to the object mode and turn off the X-ray vision. We can also verify that we have effectively broken down our object into two pieces, one for the top part and another for the bottom part. The interesting thing is we have to set up these two objects as passive rigid bodies, not active. The rigid body settings are already copied from the original object. We have to just change the object type to passive, and the collision shape should be mesh, which is already selected here, and the other fields do not matter. We'll then do the same for the second object as well, and bring back our original object. Now we have to make these two new objects as the children for the original object, so select them first, and then select the original object. Please ensure that this pin is selected at the end, so that it becomes the active object and it is highlighted in yellow. Then press Ctrl-P to bring this menu, and select Object Keep Transform. So we'll see that the two objects got under the original object as its children, and we can simply hide them in the viewport, as well as in the render output. And for the original object or the pin, we have to change the collision shape. We will change it to compound parent. Now its collision physics will be driven by the individual child objects, which are convex in shape, so we'll get the advantage of convex hull even for an object which is not convex in shape, and the output will be flawless. We have to then do this for all other pins and change them to compound parent, and finally we have to bake the physics once again. Please remember that no change will take effect until we bake the physics successfully. If everything is done right, we'll get an output like this, with perfect collisions, no overlaps, and no glitch in the physics. So I hope you like this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.